what you play, huh? Stand your ground law. I enter. You legally get to bash my head in.
Something like that.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2025 action film Stand Your Ground. The film is directed by Fansu Nunjai and it stars Daniel Steeson, Peter Stormare, Patrick Regis and Eric Roberts. Right, the film focuses on Daniel Steeson's character, Jack Johnson. He's a retired military man. He has just moved into a new place with his heavily pregnant wife, and they have had a significant offer on the house because I think it used to belong to his mother, and they're kind of moving in, deciding what they're going to do with it, sort of thing. But they don't want to be rushed in regards to the sale, so they kind of say, "No, look, thank you for the offer, but we are thinking about it. We'll let you know." However, it escalates quickly. The local gangster, led by Peter Stormare, sends his thugs to basically give them an altercation, which is basically leave now and we're just going to take the house. It goes wrong. His pregnant wife is murdered and he strikes back, attacks them and kills somebody outside of his house. This is Daniel Steeson's character, Jack Johnson. He is then arrested and charged with murder because the law in this state, there's a stand your ground law that basically means if somebody enters your house illegally, you have got the right to bear arms basically and kill them. And if you kill somebody outside your property, then that law is null and void and, you can be charged. So he is charged with murder, goes to prison for 6 years, comes out, decides he's going back to this house and decides to exactly do that, stand his ground, antagonise the local gangster and his thugs and wait for them to come and get him, and then chaos ensues. Right, what are my thoughts on Stand Your Ground? Well, this one has a fairly simple premise, as I've just explained. It's a revenge film, number one, and number two, it follows the premise of, I'm staying in my house. If you dare come in my house, I'm going to kill you. Logic going for it. So a lot of these kind of lower budget action films or thrillers or sci-fi movies or horrors sometimes feel they need to overcomplicate matters by giving us ridiculous plot lines that make no sense, sort of thing, and they completely, ruin the whole narrative. Well, this does stick to the concept of the film fairly simply. It doesn't always follow the rules, which I'll talk about later, but it follows it very, very simply. Now, Daniel Steeson, I've reviewed a couple of his films on this channel. I think one of them was Last Man Down. I even think there's a sequel coming to that. I can't remember the name of the other one I reviewed. And they are throwback, like 80s throwback action movies. Very simple times, the 80s, in regards to action films. Good guys, bad guys, guys with big muscles kicking everybody's ass. And that's what they're trying to recapture, I think, with this guy, Daniel Steeson. He's a Norwegian ex-bodybuilder. If you look at his filmography, he's appeared in a lot of films as Russian soldiers or guards or that kind of stuff. Quite a lot of big projects. But he's obviously trying to carve a career out for himself now as an action lead. Good luck to him. However, because of his... Well, he's not an actor, he's not a trained actor, and he's Norwegian. His acting needs work, I would suggest. And it's hard. I mean, Schwarzenegger made it with an accent, but he started in big, he went in pretty much with bigger projects, and he had like talented directors and, all these people to kind of work with him and stuff, and eventually got to the point where he progressed as an actor, sort of thing. Obviously he's never going to win an Oscar or anything, but it's this guy. It seems like the same performance every time I kind of see him. Really, it's very monotone. It's very one note type thing, and and I'd like to see him kind of improve a little bit. The physicality of it, no issue at all with him in these movies. I think he just needs to kind of develop the other side of it and maybe try and improve his acting abilities a bit. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think with the right project, this guy could do well, I really do. But these type of films are only going to get him so far, sort of thing. I think he does kind of need some more kind of progression in some way. Beyond that, we've got Peter Stormare, obviously, as the bad guy. We know he can play a villain and do it very, very well. Does he do it well here? He's there. He's villainous. He's doing his thing. But he's not what I would describe as standout or anything like that. We've got Eric Roberts that makes an appearance. His character makes no sense, really, in the film. It feels like it's just another name to put on the poster, really. Does not offer a great deal to the film. And the film itself has flaws. Like I said, the concept and the premise is very, very simple, but it kind of forgets its own rules, because when he kind of decides, right, I'm going to stand my ground now. I mean, for example, first thing, he goes to prison for 6 years. Yeah, he comes out of prison and the house is still his. Well, before he went to prison, these gangsters killed his wife and beat the crap out of him and basically said, we're taking the house. What are you going to do about it? So he's been away for 6 years and they decided not to do anything or touch the house. Doesn't give a reason as to why they want this house. It's just they want this house. Okay, why? Why is it worth killing for? It doesn't really explain that, so it all seems a little bit daft in that sense. But then, okay, 6 years in prison, he gets out, he's going into the house, he's saying, right, okay, I've got a lot of weapons in here, come and get me, and as soon as you walk in this house, I'm going to kill you. However, there are quite a lot of scenes with him leaning out of his window, shooting people as they're coming close to the property. He's also laid a lot of explosives leading up to the property. So as people walk up to the property, they're getting blown up and stuff. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm sure that stand your ground law will come into play there. So it's one of those, it just completely forgets. By the end, it's just a shit show in a sense of people killing each other left, right and centre. And this whole concept of stand your ground means nothing at that point in the film. Everybody's in on it. The gangster, Peter Stormare's character, all these hooded gangsters. You've even got the local sheriff getting involved with his deputy. I mean, you got Eric Roberts getting involved. Everybody's getting involved, and it's a complete and utter shit show. And it's just at that point an excuse to point a gun and shoot, sort of thing. So it doesn't make a lot of sense in that way, the film, and it is a little bit frustrating in that sense. So it's definitely flawed. It doesn't follow its own rules, and a lot of the scenes inside the house as well are too dark. I couldn't see a great deal. It needed better lighting in the house so that you could essentially enjoy the action, enjoy the kills that are happening in the house and the fight scenes and that kind of stuff. And you never really get that here with this. So while I do think the concept and the premise is sound, there are some decent moments here, and it did show a lot of promise. There are a lot of flaws that really, really drag this one down and hold it back. But if you like lower budgeted action films that have got, old fashioned kind of vibe to it, sort of thing, you might actually quite enjoy this one. So give it a go. So that's my thoughts on Stand Your Ground. Let me know if you're thinking about watching this one or if you have seen it. And I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.